Hey guys, what's up? Jeremy here. Welcome back to my channel where every day I post a new video to help you in efforts to living the dream and getting to where you want to be faster. And in today's show, I wanted to share a thought from the book Reality Transurfing, which if you've followed for any amount of time, then you've seen me post about or heard me talk about in some length. I've probably recommended this personally to you if you're one of my friends. And what I want to do is just share a little thought. I was just flipping through here and I thought that this would bring you some value. And the thought from this book, it's on page 258 of the physical book. There's no need to be concerned with how the things you want will become yours. The reason I wanted to bring this to you is because I've seen this in myself and I've seen this in people that I've coached, and I see this very often out there in the real world. Whether this is from someone who understands things like the law of attraction and who have studied them, or even if they've read this book, or maybe there's just someone who is somebody who is interested in just goal setting or leadership. And I think that, all of us have aspirations and things we're going after to ourselves, varying degrees. What I've learned from reality transurfing in the thought of not worrying about how the things you want, that you're wanting to become yours, is that we often tie stories and tie meaning to things and we make them significant. And through that significance adding of importance, as reality transurfing would word it, we make something special to us, which means that there is a higher chance that when those moments start to become real in front of us, or when we're going about our day, we will very often be looking through a lens through these stories and this added meaning or this added significance or this added importance. And so as we get closer to these moments manifesting for what we're happening, what ends up happening typically is when we add the importance or the significance, we start thinking about the worst way things can happen oftentimes, or we start to just really get married to the idea for how the thing we're wanting will happen. So maybe you want to create a business, but you need it to be this sort of business. Or maybe you took a job at a new place and you want for how your relationship looks with your employees to look a certain way, or you want to be perceived a certain way in a social setting, or you have a person that you are romantically interested in, and when you go to talk to them you get nervous and you start stumbling over yourself. And we've all kind of been in that scenario when you just got the new job and you're going into a new career. You get inside of there and one little sign doesn't go your way, you're gonna start to trip up on yourself, is how that would look. In the romantic interest, that would look at you tripping up on your words, you getting sweaty palms, you maybe missing the opportunity or being super nervous, making a fool of yourself, getting food on yourself on a date or something like that. If you were starting a business and you really wanted it to be like this sort of business, well, any sign from a vendor, any sign from a friend or a family member when you're telling them about it, any sign that doesn't lead to you getting there or you having proof that this is going to work and feeling really good about it, you are going to start to get angry, you're going to start to get mad, you're going to resent people, you're going to create a mess in front of you. With all of those scenarios, you end up creating a mess. What I've learned and seen and what I'm learning from reality transurfing, because I'm as much of a student as I'm a teacher, and I'm just here to share the things that I've learned or that I'm continuing to learn, is that if I can take away those fake stories, whether they're good or bad, about how something should or shouldn't happen, or if, I got that job, so to say, and I'm really wanting for people to have a really positive outlook on me and I'm kind of getting nervous about it, well, what I want to do instead is reanalyze my goal, step back, reanalyze my goal, and follow the process reality transurfing teaches. Was number one, accepting failure, number two, creating a plan B, and then number three, beginning to run the image of what you're actually wanting in your mind, that perfect scenario, without caring about how you get there. And when you do that, you get out of the way and you allow for the force, the Holy Spirit, God, energy, that process of manifestation of things becoming real. You get out of the way and allow for that in. There are endless amount of ways to get to where you want to be. For the person who has the business idea, it becomes really important to them. We've all may have been that person, or we've seen that person portrayed, or we know that person in life that has all these ideas, and when someone doesn't like the idea, they get really down on it, whether it's business or not. Well, for that person, step back and think about why you're going, what you're doing with this business. What does this mean to you? Are you wanting a certain lifestyle? Are you wanting to be able to say an achievement? Are you wanting a certain bank account number? And instead look at that as your end goal and think about and create a picture of what life would look like in that lifeline, so to say, in that being actually there, fast fast forwarding to there, and just focus there and then start to take action in your business. And what ends up happening, if you can minimize the importance and get rid of it completely, hopefully, with the process of accepting fear and creating a plan B, is that you can start to look at reality as it's really happening to you. And if you have this goal in mind, what's happening for you, if you can just get out of the way for a little bit, and instead of creating a mess in front of you because you have this image and this anxiety or this deep desire for it to happen the way you're wanting, and allow for it to happen the easiest way, life can be a lot simpler. You know, whenever you create a goal, it's going to get important to you. And I'm just as guilty of this. When I was in high school, I set the goal of becoming a national officer. And there were times in between this year-long goal that I had bumps with my grades. I forgot about it. There were times where I got in arguments with other student leaders that were over nothing because I felt like they weren't helping me get to that point, or I felt that they were taking away something from me in that process. And that just wasn't true. That was just me creating importance. That was me making this thing significant and really making a story out of it in my head instead of focusing on what I have control over, where my thoughts go and what my actions are. What I should have done is remembered what the goal was, and remember that even things they are telling me are things that are leading, that the universe, that God, the Holy Spirit is bringing into my life so that they actually happen, and so they happen even easier. It's just, are you willing to hear those things? And you can't do that when you're hearing them through importance in your own stories and your own fears. Hey, if this brought any value to you, thank you so much for watching, number one. But if this brought value to you, then be sure to follow wherever you're watching this and keep tuned in daily for helpful videos that help you to really get to where you want to be in business and in life faster, to help you to avoid the obstacles and to do things in the easiest way, because life should be pleasant and you should be accomplishing and going after those dreams that you're aspiring for. Head to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe and you'll receive updates and tips and those things just directly to you on your phone, so you'll always stay tuned in regardless of if you're watching this on YouTube and you return back to there, or if you're on Instagram or those things, you'll just be up to date. Hey, if you like this, be sure to head over to whatupjeremy.com/subscribe. I send out updates periodically with these videos and other tips and resources that I just don't share here, and this is the easiest way for you to get in my world so I can help you to live the dream and so I can help you get to where you want to be faster. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow.